Hi everyone. In this lecture, we'll start using Firebase to handle real-time message data. Our plan is to push the new message to Firebase, then retrieve it whenever a user sends one. So, we'll make the message reference accessible to the methods of the chat view controller. This way, the did_press_send button method can also access this location. So create an instance variable messageRef by asking the shared instance of the FIR database class to refer to the root location. Then get the child reference of the root by the name of messages. Okay, we simply just let the messageRef variable refer to the messages location on Firebase. MessageRef is now an instance variable, so the did_press_send button method can access the message location via this variable. Alright, something's wrong. Alright, let's see why. The error says that basically we were trying to access Firebase database when our Firebase app was not ready. Alright, so in other words, we must configure our Firebase app before we can use the Firebase services. Alright. Intuitively, we can do that by configuring the Firebase app right after we instantiate our chat app. That way, this configuration stuff always takes place first. We do that by overriding the init function. We then configure the Firebase app in this initializer. Okay, let's delete the old stuff. Again, because the Firebase configure function is in the init function of the app delegate, it's always called first when the app launches. Alright. Good, now check it out. Once the Firebase app is properly configured, we can then access the message location on the database. Alright. The app is running. Alright, great, there's no error. Now, let's outline what we're going to do next. We'll push new message data to the server, then pull it back in real time. Let's comment out these stuff. We'll push message data here after a user sends a message. Okay, good. Now, let's create a new message reference from the Firebase message location, which is the location of all messages on Firebase we've just created. Okay. From it, create a new child reference with random ID. We talked about this function in the last lecture. Our plan is to push new message data to this child location. So, at this new message location, set the value to some message data. Alright, this data contains the message information sent by users such as input text, sender ID, and other stuff. It reflects how we store data in the database. There's no JSQ stuff here. The server should know how the app handles data. We next create a new method called observeMessages for pulling data. In this method, we'll look at the location of all messages in the database and observe events we're interested in. Okay, here we're interested in if the new message data is pushed to the database. If yes, the observing function will return an FIR data snapshot object. Let's call this object snapshot. It contains the newly added data we want to retrieve. Do you notice that so far there's nothing related to JSQ stuff? Only now, after we pull the message data, we'll encode it in JSQ form. So we'll get the JSQ message array, which is the one holding all JSQ messages in the app. Append to it a new JSQ message that encodes the new message data we pushed to the server during the previous step. Alright. This information is retrieved and contained in the snapshot object. Alright, this JSQ message is initialized with some parameters, such as sender ID, sender display name, and text. We do that. We'll assign the data contained in the snapshot object to these parameters. We encode message data in JSQ form so that we can display it to the other chat view, using collection view methods and stuff in the JSQ library. Alright, good. That's our plan. Push message data to the server, then retrieve and encode it in JSQ form to display to the chat view. Now, let's talk about what type of data structure we use to store the data on the server. We now define the message data mentioned before. We'll save data in dictionary form. This dictionary holds the text input by users. We have this text from the input of this method as talked in previous lectures. The dictionary also holds the sender ID, which is of the user sends the message. The ID is also an input of the method. We knew that. We also save sender display name to this dictionary. Alright, we save these stuff on the server because we want to use the JSQ messages later. Alright, finally, we'll put something to show what type of media type stored at this message location. Because we save input text in this dictionary, the media type should be text. Alright. Okay. Alright, good. We'll store this data on the server. By the way, the setValue function requires an AnyObject input. So we can safely push our data dictionary to the new message location on the server. Alright. Again, we save this data dictionary, not a JSQ message, on the server, so that if you want, you can easily switch from JSQ to other message libraries, or create your own message class. Alright. Oh wait, something's not right. Let's see. The console keeps saying authentication failed. We got an error. Okay, here's why. Remember we previously set the navigation controller at the initial view controller so that we can easily test the chat feature? This means we haven't logged in when the app runs. So let's go back to the login page to sign in. And good. Authentication is successful. Here's our user ID. Cool, we're good now. Let's see if we can now push new message data to the server. Alright, send. Great, it works. Data shows up instantly on the database. Note, we purposely use the sender name key, not sender display name. It's the sender display name we set in the viewDidLoad method before. We also set sender ID here too. As shown in previous lectures, these are inputs of the didPressSend button method, so that we can access and push them to the server. Now, let's retrieve this new data as we outlined at the beginning. We do this by calling the observeMessages method we've just defined. We call it in viewDidLoad because we want to load messages when we open the chat view. First, let's print the snapshot value to see how the data looks when we retrieved it. Alright, good. It basically holds the data we've just pushed. But we need to know the concrete format so that we can extract the data. Alright, let's see. The snapshot value is an optional dictionary because we push dictionaries. It's optional because there might not be any data at all. So now we need to extract these dictionary values to encode them into a JSQ message. In the observeMessages method, check if there is data being retrieved. Then unwrap it from the snapshot value that we retrieved from the server. Alright, and convert it to a dictionary with keys of type string and values of type AnyObject. We use AnyObject values because we might previously push to the server various data types like media and stuff. Alright, now we're ready to extract the data values so that we can encode them into a JSQ message as below. Alright, let's do it. Let's see what media type in this data by getting the value of the retrieved data dictionary corresponding to the media type key, and convert it to a string, because this value is in AnyObject, whereas the media type is string when we push data to the server. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for the rest. But actually, let's print this media type to see if we're on the right track. So print media type. Alright, are we good? Actually, let's not print out the snapshot value. We already know what it is. Alright, it's running. Great, there's no bugs so far. We should see, yep, the media type just as we expect. Alright, cool. Now let's decide the printing stuff and do the same thing for the rest. Copy this over. Oh, wait. Alright, okay. Here and here. Okay, good. Now change this to the sender ID. Change the key to. And here, sender name, the key as well. Finally, the text value from the text key. Alright, great. We retrieved all message data we need. Now, let's encode them into the JSQ form to display the message to the chat view. This task should be inside the observing method, because that's where we got the data. Let's go ahead and put the input data we retrieved into the JSQ message initializer. Alright, good, that should do it. Alright, don't worry about the warning. It's because for now we don't use the media type information we retrieved. Okay. Cool. The existing message on the server is pulled and shows up when the chat view launches. Alright, let's try creating a message and send. Great. Everything is synced up instantly. This is the new message data on the server. Okay, that's it. Pretty straightforward, right? Remember, do not save JSQ messages to the database. It would be very hard to maintain or extend your project. In the next lecture, we'll use Firebase storage to save and retrieve media messages. Alright, see you then.